We didn't film this spot before planting, but trust us, it looked nothing like it does now. It's a new area for us to explore. Part of it still wild, just like it used to be. Dry soil covered with the pine needles, a pine tree that claimed this corner as its own, and a yucca that somehow ended up here on its own. We're still not sure how. It was here when we moved in. Last year, we brought some rhubarb into this space, and now it's time for another garden creature to find its home. Let's start by preparing this area for the new owners. Cleaning everything on top and inside that may get on the way. And the first obstacles? Roots. A lot of them. The pine tree has been the one and only resident of this corner for over 10 years. Now it's time for it to share the space, and we need to make sure the new owners can settle in comfortably. Here's another one of Val's clever creation. This Sifter helps a lot. Val built it from 2x4s and a piece of metal lathe we had laying around. It's been serving us well for about 8 years now. He made a few tweaks along the way, but the idea stayed the same. Less time, more result. We found all kind of trash buried in our backyard over the years, even full trash bags in some places. Luckily, this spot isn't that bad, but we still need to clean out pine needles, roots, and those rock-hard chunks of compacted sand. From some angles, you can see we are working with pure sand, untouched for who knows how long. It gets dusty, and at some point we really needed protection from all that dust flying in our faces. So, we used whatever we had. Regular medical masks or even masks meant for epoxy work, like the one I'm wearing here. The process is simple. Fill, shake, clean, repeat. Nothing impossible, but definitely time-consuming. To feed the soil, we used food scrap saved all winter long. No waste around here. Finally, it was time to plant. Or so we thought. But the soil was bone dry. We always watered before planting, but this time the soil refused to soak it in. Have you ever heard of hydroponic soil? I hadn't until now. Turns out it's a real phenomenon. It happens when soil particles get coated with organic substances that actually repel water. So instead of absorbing, it just runs off the surface. Val had to use water pressure to slowly bore into the ground just to get it hydrated enough for planting. Now it was finally time to plant, and this part I was ready for. The sun was getting low, the temperature dropped, and I was ready to wrap things up. What we weren't prepared for was the water still sitting on the surface, and the tubers floating right back up. So Val dug a deeper trench for me, and after that, the process went smooth as butter. We saved the biggest tubers for planting. Last year, we moved a few small sunchoke tubers into a new area. They sprouted in spring, but once the sun started heating up in the summer, the top growth dried out and disappeared. We found those tubers again this year, still there, but they had hibernated for the rest of the season. They didn't grow and they didn't produce any new tubers. This time we want new tubers to settle into their space right away. We don't have a year to lose. But if you do, you can take a different approach. I'd suggest starting with the smaller tubers, give them plenty of space, water them well, and provide some shade. If you let them rest and grow slowly, by the second year you will likely have a huge, healthy bush from each one. In our case, we planted in early spring because Colorado's summer can be brutal. New plants may struggle with the new heat and sunburn. That's why we plant them close together, so their leaves will help shade one another. For standard planting guide for sunchokes, look to the description box. We built up the edges yesterday to trap water and keep the moisture where it's needed. But when we woke up today, it looks like some cats, maybe even ours, had discovered this nice clean sand and decided it will be a perfect litter box. Yeah, mulch is definitely required here. Let's work on the edges first. While leveling the bed again, after all those cat paw prints, we notice how easy the sand keeps sliding back into the middle. And since we always have something lying around in the backyard, we thought why not to use it where it may actually be helpful. In this case, we're repurposing some old boards we weren't planning to use for their original purpose. Not perfect, but perfect for this. They will help hold the sand and keep it where it belongs. After finishing the first row, I looked at it and decided it wasn't good enough. So I added a second one. Anyway, we're having them laying down around of doing nothing. Sometimes you just need a little extra support, and a second board did the job. What's left now is to fill the gaps with sand, just to make sure nothing, like a black widow, decides to move into the empty spaces. Finally, after all unexpected prep work, it is a time for mulch. It helps protect the soil from heat and evaporation, as well as from cats, as we saw earlier, which is especially important in this dry Colorado climate. And since this is a new area, we still haven't connected it to the dripping systems. So for now, anything that helps hold moisture is more than welcome. We gave the new bed a good soak, and that was it. From this point on, all we had to do was keep watering. Sunchokes are surprisingly unpretentious. They grow in almost any kind of soil, sandy, dry, even poor, as long as it's drained well. What they do need is water, about 1 or 1.5 inches, approximately 2.5–4 centimeters per week during the growing season. As long as they get consistent moisture, you can expect a great harvest. All of this was done back in March, and here they are now, just 4 months later. Sunchokes really thrive when you give them a good start. When we moved the tubers into a new area, we also decided to try something new, planting a pew in large planters, just as an experiment. Here in Colorado, one of the biggest challenges with container gardening is the intense sun. It can heat up the pot so much that plants start to boil from the roots up. So far, so not bad at all. We place the pots in the shaded area and water them by hand. They're smaller than the ones grown in the ground, around 3 feet tall, but still bushy, with wide, healthy green leaves. Yes, grasshoppers had their share, but they've been snacking on everything this year, not just the potted ones. Last year, we harvested around 60 pounds of sunchokes from a random spot where they had accidentally started growing. If you're curious how much we get from this new bed, make sure to follow. We'll share the full harvest in the fall. Have you ever tried sunchokes, or maybe grow them yourself? Got a wild story, hydrophobic dirt, root jungle, or surprise discovered underground? Share it in the comments. We'd love to hear your garden adventures.